Namaste. Today I want to share a poem from Swami Ramatheertha, and it's a very special poem. And it is a poem which I can assure that if you really take it to heart, will destroy all sense of negativity, fear, despair, anxiety, worries, and unnecessary tension in life. This poem is also the heart of Vedantic teaching, and I think Swami Ram Tirtha, in his utter wisdom and in that realization of that wisdom, has been able to reproduce all the teachings of the essential teachings of all the Upanishads and Gita, and in such a beautiful way. And this poem is actually something which I came across also because it was reproduced by Paramahamsa Yogananda, and it has been one of my all-time favorites. So I'm just going to first read the poem and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Since it is in English, I will be doing most of the explanation also in English. No, no one can tone me. Say, who could have injured, and who could atone me? No, no one can tone me. The world turns aside to make room for me. I come, blazing light, and the shadows must flee. I come, O you ocean, divide up and part, or parched up and scorched up, be dried up, depart. O mountains, beware, come not in my way. Your ribs will be shattered and tattered today. O kings and commanders, my fanciful toys, here's a deluge of fire. Line clear, my boys. Advisors and counselors, pray waste not your breath. Yes, take up my orders, devour up, ye death. Go whole on, O winds, O my gods, howl free. Beat, beat storms, O my bugles, blow free. I ride on the tempest, astride on the gale. My gun is a lightning, my shots never fail. I chase as a huntsman, I eat as I seize the hearts of the mountains, the lands, and the seas. I hitch to my chariot the fates and the gods, with thunder of cannon proclaim it abroad. Shake, shake off delusion, wake, wake up, be free. Liberty, liberty, liberty. Om. So again, as I mentioned, this beautiful poem, composition by Swami Ramatheertha, condenses the whole of the teachings of Vedanta, the Upanishads. So let me just go through it part by part. No one can tone me. No, no one can tone me. Who could have injured and who could atone me? So why should I fear anybody? Why should I have any kind of sense of dread, hatred, or negativity that somebody will harm me? I am that eternal consciousness, so there is nothing that I need to fear. That the body, mind, or all these are subject to coming and going, but I as a consciousness will never die. And this is the similar notion on which that poem of Nirvana Shataka by Adi Shankaracharya, it expresses this similar points where he says, Na mrityur na shanka na me jhati vedaha pitaneva me neva mata na janmaha na bandhur na mitram gurur neva shishyaha chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am that Shiva, that consciousness who is of the nature of Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, that pure joy, unending joy. And I don't have death. I don't have to worry about death. I don't have any doubts, because I was never born. Na janmaha. So how can I have a father and mother? So I have had thousands of fathers and mothers in this life of samsara, but the consciousness as such has never born. It will never die. So how can I ever have a father and mother? Na bandhu na mitram guru naiva shishyaha. I don't have any relatives. And once that eternal truth I have realized, just as my teacher had realized, Then what happens? That teacher and I have become one, that one eternal reality. So in that sense, there is no teacher duality, teacher-student duality. That also falls apart at that point, So similarly here, Swami Ramatheertha is saying, no one can turn me. Why? Because the world turns aside to make room for me. The whole of the world will move out of me because I am that consciousness in that kind of this waking dream, this cosmic dream. I imagine this world to exist. The moment I decide and this world, I wake up from this dream, this whole world is going to dissolve. Just as all your dreams, the worst of your dreams, you might have been going bankrupt. If your spouse might be deserting you, or you might be stricken with a terminal illness. But all that, in your dream, if you have it, what happens when you wake up? Everything is gone. You're woken up. So similarly, that he says the whole world turns aside. I come, a blazing light. That light, that consciousness, that pure consciousness, is of the nature of light. The darkness cannot exist when there is light, and the shadows must flee. So when there is as the Upanishad says, that a place which has been in darkness in a cave for thousands of years, the moment the light comes, all the darkness will vanish, So as though it was never there. I come, O you ocean, divide up and part, or parched up and scorched up, be dried up, depart. O mountains, beware, come not in my way. Your ribs will be shattered and tattered today. So everything is my own consciousness, the whole world. So even if we give a reality to world, what is the essence of this world? What is the world? Is there anything such as this world? The world is of the essence of my consciousness. So everything in that sense is me alone. As Kaivalya Upanishad, it says, Mayeva sakalam jatam, Mai sarvam pratishtitam, Mai sarvam layam yati, Tad brahma dvayamasmyaham. In me, the whole world is born, jatam. My sarvam pratishtitam, this existence, it is existing in me, meaning in that pure nature of one undivided consciousness, which is my true nature, the nature of God and the nature of this world. There is nothing but me. So in this it is pratishtitam, it is existing. So if it is existing, it can also go away, it will also devour, meaning like if I am that nature of that substance, through which all this Pancha Mahabhuta, all this earth, water, air, everything is created. At any point, I, as my consciousness, can dissolve to recognize that all this is nothing but consciousness. Then what happens, as he says, "O mountains, come not in my way, or your ribs will be shattered and tattered today," meaning that all this Pancha Mahabhuta and all this, it is made out of, even that all what we call like, tanmatras, through which all the existence and life is given to all these things. They also are nothing. They also the essence of nature, the whole of Prakriti, even that mind, that ego, and all of that. That all of that is nothing but that. Why is that? Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham. It is that same one consciousness. And then he continues on, "O kings and commanders, my fanciful toys, here's a deluge of fire. Line clear, my boys." Meaning there's nothing I want from anybody. So when I don't have any desire or anything I need from anybody, how can anybody have any control over me? So even like that bhiksha or whatever that a sannyasi is seeking, he's not attached to that. At that point of thing, if he gets it, it's fine. If he doesn't get it, it's fine. So that kind of consciousness, when one starts living in, then nothing, your bosses, your spouses, nobody, you have to be afraid of. You are the master of everything at that point. So that is the main point here, and this is also the the whole essence of all this that shloka in Chidananda Rupa has it says, na dharmo, na charto, na kamo, na moksha. So the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, even none of that I'm seeking. Even the moksha I don't need. Why? Because I'm already free. That even that seeking of moksha is a relative seeking from the point of bondage. So for a person who has attained that realization, there is nothing to even seek after at that point. So then Swami Ramatheertha ji goes on, and he says, advisors and counselors, pray waste not your breath. Na guru na shishya. That at that point of realization, why do you need any advice from anybody? Who can really give you any advice? See, the most of the advice that people of the world they give, they're giving it from the point of where they are in that bondage. And so in order to help us free that bondage, they give worldly advice. But that worldly advice is different from spiritual knowledge. So if we ever have to seek, we can seek spiritual wisdom from spiritual masters. But that kind of seeking, we have to go on our own. The world is giving us a lot of unwanted knowledge, unwanted advice. And these are the counselors. As when we make that choice, as in comes in Kathopanishad, Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametes, Tausam Paritye Vivinakti Dhiraha, Shreyo hi dhiro bhi preyaso vrinite, preyo mando yogakshemad vrinite. That there are two paths in life, Shreyas and Preyas. One is a path of pleasure, the worldly pleasures. Other is a path of higher good, which is taking us higher and higher. And the dhira, the one who is brave, the one who is intelligent, he divides this, just as how the example is of a swan picking up milk from water. That kind of discernment, one looks through this world and realizes, I want the higher good, I want the higher path, I want the supreme unending happiness, not the temporary happiness of the world, not the petty things of the world. Shreyo hi dhiro hi preyaso vrinite. So instead of prayers, instead of worldly wisdom, how to make money on the stock exchange, how to live an ever happy married life. See, all this is okay at one level, but once your path is set on the spiritual thing, our vision should at least be clear. We may compromise and do follow other worldly goals, but our vision is that highest vision. Preyo mando yogakshemat pranite, because the world people and the world are seeking that kind of, they are mandas, meaning they are of lower wisdom. They are seeking yogakshema. So everybody will advise me like that, take care of your body, take care of your house, take care of those things. So this is the worldly people. So those people, he's saying, advisors and counselors, pray waste not your breath. I have the highest vision. Don't give me these kind of wisdom. I'm all set on my path. Yes, take up my orders, devour up your death. Mrityu na shanka, na mrityu na shanka. Death can no longer bind me. The death of the body, I'm not identified with that body. So death no longer has control over me. So death also has, Yama says to Nachiketa, I put them in bondage who are seeking this lower path, that path of prayers. For those people, they are always subject to me. They are always, but the people who have chosen the wiser path, I don't control them, meaning that their soul is all set on the path. And then he goes on, go howl on, O winds, O my dogs, howl free, beat storms, O my bugles, blow free. I ride on the tempest, astride on the gale. My gun is the lightning, my shots never fail. So this is again, like where one has risen about that prakriti, about nature. All the things of the nature is totally at that person's command also. So this is also like, how Bhagwan says, like, this is through Bhagavan's this yogic siddhi. He can manifest anything. So a jnani generally does not kind of go about changing creation. But the one who is also perfected the yoga siddhis, they can do anything they want, They can build a palace in a mountain, or they can manifest, they can drink up the the whole of the ocean as Agastya Muni did. So all that, is a sign of one who's also, that wisdom has manifested into a siddhi also for them. I chase as a huntman, I eat as I seize the hearts of the mountains, the land and the seas. So this is can also be looked at it one way, that wherever I look, the mountains, the things, everything, I see that one pure consciousness. So I chase, meaning I'm constantly looking for that essence in everything. I'm looking for that one perfection, that God essence, that soul essence in everything. And I eat as I seize. Wherever I see that beauty of the divinity, I devour that, meaning I absorb that, because that is my true nature. I realign back to my true nature. I hitch to my chariot the fates and the gods. With thunder of cannon, proclaim it abroad. The fates and the gods, meaning like none of the fate. I have eternal free will, because fate will only be there as long as we are identified with the body or the traveling soul, the jiva. The one who has attained to that state of pure knowing, there is no fate for that person. And that wisdom, that here, how do you become free? Through that wisdom. That wisdom is what sets us free. So once that has happened, so that complete freedom, as Kaivalya Upanishad, another shloka says, Saeva sarva yadbhutam yaccha bhavyam sanatanam jnatva tam mrityumatyeti nanyaf pantha vimuktaye. So this is that one path of knowing, that highest realization, that self-realization. That is Sanatanam, it is eternal. That Jnatva tam mrityu matyeti. There is no death at that point, meaning that there is no karma that can even decide our fate. So what happens? I don't even need any lesser gods. All the gods who are controlling all this as different aspects of nature, through all those rites and pujas and meditations, we invoke their presence, because we need something else, even at the level of going to a higher land, or even all these things that we, even the spiritual desires of being in the certain presence of masters, see, all that is necessary on certain stage of the path. But once we start coming to that higher realization, then, as he says, then going to lesser gods, you will compromise even that highest God, as Bhagavan says in Gita. So he says, the fates and the gods, all of them, I hitch to my chariot, meaning I don't care for them anymore. With thunder of cannon, proclaim it abroad. Shake off delusion. Wake up and be free. Uttishtata, jagrata, prapyavara nibodhata, as the Kathopanishad says, Wake up from this delusion. Go get the teaching. Get that essential, real teaching. Ananya prokta gatiratra nasti. From that one teacher who gives that subjective truth, not that just another reality, gives that one eternal knowing of yourself. So that one we have to get. That is when we shake off the delusion. Wake up and be free. Liberty, liberty, liberty. Oh, so that eternal freedom, that true nature, once we have realized, then we are free, as completely as Shankaracharya continues to say, Aham nirvikalpo, nirakara rupo, vibhutyacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam, nacha sangatam neva muktir nameyaha, chidhananda rupa shivoham, shivoham. Om.